I want to ask you a question, and I want you to be honest with yourself. How much of your life are you currently living in the waiting room? You know exactly what I mean. You're waiting for the weekend. You're waiting for the summer. You're waiting for the kids to finish school, for the mortgage to be paid, for the day you finally feel ready to start that business or take that trip. You've convinced yourself that your real life is just around the corner and that the present moment, is just a dress rehearsal. I'm 80 years old, and if I could reach through this screen and shake you, I would, because I spent 40 years of my life waiting for someday. And standing here at the finish line, I can tell you the most terrifying truth about that place. Someday is a desert. It's a mirage that keeps moving further away the faster you run toward it. Most people don't live their lives. They postpone them. They miss the beauty of the messy, imperfect now because they are too busy preparing for a perfect then that never arrives. Today, I want to talk to you about the danger of the waiting room. I want to show you how to stop waiting for your life to begin and how to start living it while you still have time. We are conditioned from birth to look toward the next milestone. In school, it's the next grade. In your career, it's the next title. We build our lives around the arrival fallacy, the belief that once we reach a certain destination, we will finally be happy, secure, and done. I remember telling my wife in my 40s, once we get through this busy season at work, things will calm down and we'll really spend time together. That busy season lasted 15 years. I arrived at the success I wanted, but when I got there, I realized that I had missed the sound of my children's voices changing. I had missed the quiet Tuesday afternoons that were actually the best parts of my life. Happiness is not a destination. It's a manner of traveling. If you can't find peace in the middle of the struggle, you won't find it at the top of the mountain either. The arriving point is an illusion. You never arrive. You only pass through. Stop waiting for the perfect conditions to be happy. The conditions will never be perfect, but the moment is already here. What are you waiting for? Seriously, if you're waiting to feel ready before you take a leap, you're going to be waiting in that chair until you're my age. Ready is a lie told by your fear. Fear wants you to stay in the waiting room because it's safe there. In the waiting room, you don't have to risk failure. You don't have to face the possibility that your dream might not work out. So you tell yourself, I just need more information, or I just need to save a bit more. I watched dozens of brilliant men and women die with their best ideas still inside them because they were waiting for the perfect moment to start. At 80, I can tell you the perfect moment is whenever you decide to move. Confidence doesn't come before the action. It comes during it. The only way to get ready is to start while you're still afraid. Life belongs to the ones who are willing to be unready in public. Imagine your life is a bank account. Every morning, you are given 86,400 seconds. You can't carry them over to the next day. You can't save them in a someday account. At the end of the day, whatever you didn't use is gone forever. Most people live like they have an infinite balance. They spend their seconds on things they don't care about, trying to impress people they don't like, while promising themselves they'll spend their time on what matters later. But at 80, you realize that later is a bankrupt bank. You go to withdraw those saved years and you find the account is empty. Your health is gone, your friends are gone, and your energy is gone. You realize you traded your today for a tomorrow that was never even in the contract. Stop saving your life for a future version of yourself. That person doesn't exist yet. The person who needs you, who wants to love, and who wants to create is the one sitting in your skin right now. We miss life because we are looking for the big moments. We think life is the wedding, the promotion, the grand vacation, but life is actually what happens between those things. Life is the way the steam rises off your coffee in the morning. It's the feeling of a cold breeze on your face. It's a conversation with a stranger that makes you laugh. When I look back from 80, I don't remember the board meetings or the trophies. I remember the smell of my wife's perfume in the hallway. I remember the way the light hit the trees in my backyard. When you wait for someday, you become blind to the miracles happening in your ordinary Tuesday. You become a ghost in your own home. I learned that the secret to a rich life isn't adding more big moments. It's adding more presence to the small ones. Open your eyes. Your life is happening right now in the silence between my words. Don't look past it. There is a peculiar sadness in deferred joy. It's when you finally reach the someday you were waiting for, but you no longer have the capacity to enjoy it. I knew men who worked 70 hours a week for 40 years so they could finally relax at 65. But when 65 came, they didn't know how to relax. They had forgotten how to have a hobby. They had forgotten how to talk to their wives. They had the money for the boat, but they didn't have the friends to sail with. You cannot postpone joy and expect it to be waiting for you with interest. Joy is a muscle. If you don't exercise it every day, it withers. Don't wait until you're retired to find what makes you happy. Find it today, even if it's just for 10 minutes. Cultivate a life that you don't need to escape from or wait to enjoy. I stand at the exit of the waiting room. Now behind me are 80 years of moments, some used, many wasted. If I could give you one gift, it would be the realization that the door to your life is already open. You don't need a ticket. You don't need permission. You don't need to wait for the light to turn green. The only thing standing between you and a life of meaning is your own insistence that it hasn't started yet. Stop waiting for the perfect version of yourself to show up. The imperfect version of you is more than enough to start. Stop waiting for the fear to go away. It won't. Carry it with you and move anyway. The world doesn't need people who are waiting for someday. The world needs people who have come alive today. I am 80 years old. My somedays are almost gone. But you have a choice. You can close this video and go back to waiting. You can tell yourself, that was inspiring. I'll start changing things next week. Or you can decide that the waiting room is officially closed. You can decide that your life begins the moment you take your next breath. What is one thing you've been putting off? One phone call, one project, one act of kindness. Do it now, not tomorrow. Now. Thank you for listening to an old man who finally learned how to stop waiting. If this message woke you up, please subscribe and join our community. Like this video to help it find someone else who is stuck in the waiting room. And tell me in the comments, what are you going to stop waiting for today? I'll be reading and I'll be cheering for you. God bless and welcome to your